Oh, hi. I meant to have it on the starting scene uh thing with it says it's starting soon, and here I am just walking around not talking to you guys. Hi. I'm September, also known as 9 of 12. Um Here to do a little cooking. Um I've got a hot mess here. You can see all these bags. So I'm gonna talk about some cool ingredients I picked up this past weekend and catch up with y'all. And then I'm going to make a batch of a wing sauce. So, not long ago, I did um, oven wings, showed y'all how to make nice crispy wings in the oven. Um, just as good as deep frying, I promise, with the baking soda trick. And then I did throw together some sauce to throw on them. Um, which is a sauce I invented a couple years ago. We call it like the garlic toffee um, sauce at my house. It's not your average, whoops, um, honey garlic sauce because of bringing it to a soft stage boil like you do with candy, and then it really coats the wings in this nice, thick, sticky sauce. I'm gonna turn on the light. But today is the last day to enter a local wing sauce competition in my town. I think the competition's actually next month, but today is the last day to enter, and I have to take them a sample. And I did a test the other day if you can kind of make it ahead and let it cool down, because usually I make and toss. And it worked the other day. So now I'm going to make a batch to take over, because you're supposed to take over a sample when you enter. And I've been talking myself in and out of this. There are reasons I haven't been streaming. I've been real busy. I did get to go away this weekend overnight with my husband, but uh, my best friend is in the hospital. Hopefully, she'll be let out today. Um, she has a blockage in her kidney, and it's been a little scary. Um, so I've been back and forth to the hospital and haven't been able to catch up and get some streams done and hang out with you guys. Um, but her daughter's off work today and gonna be able to bring her home until the next surgery. But so that's why part of why I haven't been around. So first, let's go through this stuff and get it off of my workspace. One of my favorite places in Raleigh, North Carolina, is Neomond. Oh, so good. Um, it's like a Mediterranean um, restaurant, and there's like a little shop, and I'm able to pick up cool new ingredients and ingredients I love when I'm there that aren't easily accessible in my town. And so we did some shopping. Um, One thing I got was Nigella seeds. Um, I had never heard of them. I have no idea. So while we were eating, because we had brunch there with my son and my grandson, I looked it up, and the interesting combination of things that was stated as the flavor profile on these, I was like, yeah, I need those to play with and experiment with, and I'll be looking up recipes, and we'll do something here when I decide to use them for sure. I picked up some jars of honey. Um, I keep missing the farmer's market where my friend Diane sells her honey, and I don't have a whole lot left, and eventually I'll use that for the wings sauce, but I knew I had to make the test batch and this batch. So, and the prices were really good on the honey at Neomond. I got this Beirut honey, which is a pretty standard orange blossom honey. That's what I used to test with the other day, and I will be using today. So I won't put that away. I also got a jar of um, Black Forest honey. Very interested and curious about this. It's a very interesting part of the world, and the color is beautiful, so I wanted to try that. I got a new grain to try, Freeka. Freeka, I don't know. But it's an ancient grain. It's green as I understand. It's like green wheat, and then it's cracked and toasted. And it seems like pretty much anything you would use, ancient grain in quinoa or whatever. Um, it's got like more protein than standard wheat. Um, calcium, potassium, iron, zinc. Yeah, it says smoked wheat is what they just call it on the package, but keen on figuring out something with that. I'll put this in somewhere. I have a drawer with some ingredients I can't always find. Here we go. I got some rose water. Um, the prices on these were really good. And that I can use for ritual use. And I think I'm going to make, because I also got, and for $10.99, it's a pretty good price, a big package of toasted sesame seeds. Now, normally I would buy like sesame seeds and then toast them for smaller dishes and garnishes, but I have a really good baklava recipe. Um, it was my friend Trib's grandmother's or aunt's, I don't know, recipe. It's got sesame seeds and I really love it. I like to add, I added jasmine the first time I made it, but I love rose water as an add to baklava that Middle Eastern chef taught me. Okay. This is from Compare Foods, not Neomon. That's some garlic. Also, just to use today. And later. I'm making pesto later. Have I already streamed making pesto? Shoot. Well, sorry. I'll get around to it eventually, but this is probably the last of our homegrown basil. If I'm feeling up to it, maybe I'll just do another stream today and show you all how easy it is to make pesto. So we got a hazelnut spread. It says the brand is Choco, but it is a chocolate hazelnut spread. It is a Nutella, but this brand we hadn't seen, and Kunafa pistachio spread. Rob and I really love pistachio, so I'm looking forward to trying that as well. Maybe before the stream ends, I'll try the pistachio one. Make a piece of toast or something. They had a good price, $9.99 on a nice big thing of tahini, stone ground tahini. But tahini is hit and miss to find in my town, and I do use it regularly to make hummus and tahini dressings and stuff. I'm not sure why my sunscreen is in this bag. Okay, more treasures. Big bag, 9-ounce bag of pine nuts. So this I'm gonna leave out over here. It's $20. It kind of sounds like a lot, but I'm only use probably a quarter or a cup of these tonight, and you'll pay $20 for like a bottle of them in my town if you can find them. So awesome. Pomegranate molasses, $5.99 for like almost 8.5, a 250 ml bottle. Is an amazing price. I pay more than that in ingredients to make it at home. Since I did look up a little while back how to make it at home, because I love pomegranate molasses drizzled on some like pistachio crusted lamb chops, which is a recipe I stole from a restaurant in Asheville that I love. I mean, steal, copied. I don't know. And so I've been making my own pomegranate molasses and then giving it away to friends as gifts and stuff in small bottles. Um, so it gets used before it gets bad. So really nice to find some pre-made stuff at a really good price and just make it more accessible, less planning. Next time I'm gonna make some amazing lamb chops. We got some halva, pistachio halva. Halva is like a dessert, like a candy thing. It's like crystallized sugar, um, often in sesame paste usually, and this one also has pistachios in it, like big chunks of pistachios. So it's another treat Rob and I got for ourselves. Um, Orange blossom water. Not sure what exactly I'm going to do with this. I think um, it was an ingredient in a cocktail we were talking about on Tipple Theory not long ago, but certainly it'll be an interesting addition to some cocktails or sparkling lemonades and things that I like. I'm going to have to be really careful with this and try a little before I put it in anything because when I was living in Florida, I started having really, really trouble. As a matter of fact, one very scary incident with my asthma. My asthma was always under control before then, like an occasional inhaler use, but excuse me. I woke up in the middle of the night one time and I couldn't breathe. And I couldn't catch my breath enough to be able to get up and go get an inhaler. I didn't have one nearby, and I did eventually make enough noise to get my roommate to come and help me and bring me one. So, yeah, I could have died. And it was scary. I was in my early 20s, and it was like the first time my asthma had ever done anything that was that bad or threatening um, to me. And um, that kind of stuff stopped after I moved away from that particular home I was living in. And I think it was the orange blossoms because it was also only at that time of year. And we lived in this trailer. It was like kind of surrounded by orange orchards. So I'm going to be careful and test that and see if I make sure I don't have some kind of reaction before using it in recipes. If I have a reaction, I'll have a friend I can give it to. Probably Lori. um, yeah, she's like my friend who's in the hospital. I was visiting her yesterday and somebody asked if we were sisters, which happens often. And she was like, well, not really, but like my chosen sister. Bless. Love it. Because I was been struggling with how to, like, she's my bestie. Like, what do I call her? Who do I tell people? Because she is very special to me. Dry Gar Brown's opens $6.49. It's 2 pounds of them. And if you were around for the falafel making, you know I had a heck of a time. Eventually found some at Food Lion. Um, Still have to get more fava beans because I did like the combo. I didn't see any fava beans at Neomond. I did look. But now I'm stocked up on some dried chickpeas at a good price. And I got some whole fenugreek. $4 for this whole container. Yay. I use this when I make curries from scratch and stuff. And I had to order it online last time I got it. And it fell out of this spice cupboard one day. And most of it uh, ended up on the floor and wasted, unfortunately. But now I'm stocked up, so I'll make some homemade curry again. Okay. Let's see. How do I want to? It's here. This over here. Let's get started on the sauce, shall we? Shall we? After I make the sauce, I'm going to put it in a jar. I'm going to use one of my leak-proof ball caps, lids, whatever. I think I'm going to put it in this. Yeah. Now to figure out a way to label it so it doesn't get lost over there. Oh, I left my notes out on purpose. Sorry. Out of the streaming thing. Someday I'll figure out putting a some music in the background for y'all. So this is the only Pampered Chef item I've ever liked that didn't just break or prove itself useless. Well, I mean, there was this casserole dish once. It's not their fault it broke, but other stuff I've got for them broke. There's supposedly 100% guaranteed forever, and then getting a hold of an actual someone who deals in it to get that happen later has been a problem. Their herb stripper was trash, but this is great. It's like basically, oh, look at it, got a bent blade on it. But it's lasted a really long time. I've probably had this sucker for 25 years or so. It's 3 pieces, and you can throw them all in the dishwasher. It's basically a slap chop, if you're of an age. Oh, it's got broken. Yeah, it's about had it, unfortunately. But this is really great for if you're mincing a lot of garlic. If you're mincing a little garlic, don't worry about it. I'm going to go ahead and use my purplest garlic for the wing sauce today. Because I want the sample to be a little extra. I'm going to use about a half a head of garlic. Maybe a little more, we'll see. Like if I'm just doing a couple cloves, I will just bash them and then mince them up with a knife. But this is a nifty gadget to shortcut that process. Cut the root end off. And I should be able to pull all these cloves out. So, mincing garlic, step 1. I've always done this by eyeball until the other day when I did keep track. When I made my test batch, and it was half a head of garlic and 6 ounces of honey and 4 tablespoons of butter. I'm going to cut the butter to 3 tablespoons. I think that's fine. And I'm going to use like a minute and a half of the boil to get it to the hardness stage I want. Probably could safely do 2, but again, we'll see. If anybody wants to message me with a better name than garlic toffee wings or honey garlic toffee, I haven't even quite decided. I'm gonna put one more clove of garlic in here, or the center one. Maybe. Nah. Like I feel like for a competition, it maybe should be a interesting, snappier name. I know I talked about it before on stream. Pardon the banging. Man, this is not. I think it automatically turned before, and it's not doing that on its own as well, probably because the little broken piece inside. Yeah. I'm going to do it a little more for the competition side than I would at home. Because I want all the heat, just a little, in this too. And the more you break the membranes on the garlic, the more heat you get out of it. If you didn't know. Okay. I also thought about doing this stream yesterday, but I went to visit my friend instead. And I thought about doing it when I got home, but I wasn't really feeling up to it. And my son had not done the dishes. Okay, I'm going to turn this up to like medium high. Get this butter in. So I'm going to do 3 tablespoons this time. Because there was just a little more butter when it cooled down, floating on the top than I felt it really needed. And we got that. I'm going to have to leave instructions anyway, like to use this sauce, mix it up, and toss hot wings in it. If they don't mix it up, I mean, it'll work fine, but I want it to look not as bad in the jar. And they could heat it up and put it on. As long as it's already been to the soft boil stage, it shouldn't do anything stupid. So there's going to be one slightly secret ingredient happening. And that is for the salt in this, and I'll just put 5 to 7 grains. I'm going to be using my smoked salt. If I win the competition, they plan to, the winner gets their wing sauce featured during, I don't know, something, football season or something, at the Red Buffalo Bar and Grill, which is where it's sponsored. And I guess if I'll win, I'll tell Joe, the owner of the place, like, well, I can sell you some smoked salt that I make, or you can just use regular salt. It's not that big a difference, but it's just a little special touch. So while this comes up to temp, is it on? Uh-oh. It's not plugged in. Never come to temp that way. Never ever. Genius. Ah. I wish the cord on this were a little longer. I understand it's why it's not though. Like, that's a safety thing. Okay. So while that comes to temp, now that it will start to, let's talk about another cool thing. Sesame seeds in the drawer of yummies. I'll put away some stuff too. My friend Scott, oh shit, I just remembered I need to text Scott, is moving into a smaller, more manageable for him place to live and cleaning out his house to sell it. And I went over there and helped him pack up his spice cupboard and something else. I don't know. And yes, he loves to collect spices. This is the same guy. If you see my banner on top here or at YouTube, that picture of peppers is from a harvest from my garden and from his massive pepper garden that he tends to do each year. And he was like, take what you want, save what you want. And that I went and got a lot, and I pickled peppers, I canned peppers, I made all kinds of pepper things, I dried peppers. And so he has a lot of spices and stuff. And some were, the lid got left off a little bit and clumped together, or were very old, and he had a lot of duplicates, and we collated things and put them together, packed them up to move. And then a lot of things, these are like getting thrown away for one reason or another. The lemon peel, it's well past when you'd want to use it. Something like that has very volatile oils, doesn't last very long, but have glass jars and lids. So I'm going to be rescuing all these glass jars to use for my own spice blends and such. Um, and great for, stuff like gifting my smoked salt when I make it and spice blends. What's up?
Not much.
Okay. Mm. Is your brother up?
Oh, he's not late now.
Okay. I'm gonna make a store run in a little while. Gotta go get Parmesan for the pesto tonight. Okay. I'm gonna use a silicone spatula for this. I don't know how much I talked through when I decided to make this sauce before, because it was just kind of on a whim on the wing stream. Okay, now I just smell raw garlic. But what we're gonna do, we'll get the butter nice and bubbling and foaming, and you don't want to do it too hot. You don't want to scorch your garlic. Scorched garlic is terrible. Okay, that came out pretty good. That's my smoked salt. But you do want it to get not brown, but like just almost brown, where it starts to taste a little sweeter and nuttier. Um, like we want to retain enough of the garlic original character, so it's a garlicky wing, and that it still has a little heat to it from mincing it so fine. But the it'll we want some of the sweetness to come out. We want um, just start to tilt toward roasted garlic. Simmering nice and low. Where did my honey go? Here's my honey. I used like 6, I think. Yeah, ounces ish of honey the other day. If it's going too hard, that looks a little hard for me. I would rather have it almost foaming than boiling. I'll lift it off the burner. Slower is better than risking it burning. Et lovely sauté. The other thing you don't want happening is you don't want the butter to actually brown, because that's gonna this that's another reason to make sure it doesn't simmer too hard here or saute too hard. When you brown butter, it's a delicious thing. It's a lovely thing. I recommend it for lots of recipes. I look forward to trying baking with some brown butter before too long. But the solids, brown butter is basically the solids separate out of the oil, and those brown up, and it's a great flavor, but it's not what we want for this wing sauce. I'm just keeping an eye. You can keep an eye on like some of the smaller bits will start to brown, and then you know you're good to go with adding the honey, which is our next step. I feel like I'm more afraid I'm going to screw this up because it's for the competition. Does that make sense? The competition, I don't know. It's just for fun and for curiosity. I would love to, be able to share something that my family likes to eat. Sorry, I need to look for better light here. If I won, but if I don't win, I mean, I still get to share with the people that attend. How this works is people buy tickets to the event, and they get a certain amount of tickets to go vote with um, as they try wings. Um, it's $75 to enter, but I get like, I want to say 50 wings, like cooked wings to start with, and a 10-foot table and a couple of, what do they call them? Like for catering, like catering trays with sterno to put my wings in for people to be able to come along and try. So, I mean, that's decent. And, okay. Can you see some of it is starting to brown? So let's add our honey. It's gonna be hard to tell if I've got the right amount. All right. More than that. Not worried about being too much. All right. A little more. I should have waited. I know. I'm terrible like that. I'm going to wipe this lid area with water. To prevent things getting all sticky. Okay. And then the prize, if you win, is like $100. So, I mean, you get a little more than your fee back. Of course, you've spent on whatever your sauce costs, but sauce isn't that expensive. And then this bragging rights and a belt, a championship belt. That's like, okay. It's not my thing, but sure. Okay. Um, and bragging rights, whatever. You get to be named the 2026 wing sauce winner. And then they do this feature. Okay. Alexa, set a timer for 1.5 minutes. So I time that as soon as I'm stirring it, the bubbles aren't just disappearing. By the time this is the stage I want it, I'll be able to probably pull across and you'll be able to see the bottom. It doesn't go right back. Oh, I'm excited. Gosh, I hope people like it. I'm worried people will hate it. I have a few guaranteed votes, even though it feels like cheating. I told them if they don't like it, they don't have to. But I won tickets. Me and my trivia team won some tickets to go to the wing thing, and I was like, "You gotta come vote for me." I was kidding. I think they took me too seriously. But there's like a little bit of a health issue with their family, and I mean, they might not make it. Things happen. I'm not going to put this into a jar right away. I'm going to let it cool down, so I can give it another good stir later. Let's have some coffee. You don't need to constantly stir this. Mm. Now, I think I could go 2 minutes. 2 minutes is the boil on my chocolate pecan pie. That's one of my really early streams if you want to go check out the amazing pie that I make. Alexa, stop. Okay. I'm going to look at my watch and give it another 30 seconds because it's not clearing the bottom quite like I want. A little bit, see? So I guess 2 minutes is the right time. I didn't time it very accurately when I did this the other day. There's another way to test softball stage. I suppose I should show you. And that'll also help verify that that's the stage I'm getting. I mean, I could also use a candy thermometer. I do own one, but I mean, for the stream, I'm trying to help teach. I'm not trying to make you buy equipment. If you do want to buy equipment, check out my Amazon wish list for Dine with Nine, or my Throne list or something to help me with cookbooks and things I might like for the stream. Now this, I turned it down too much too, so if you take a little of your sugar concoction and drop it into, you probably couldn't see that, but maybe you can see the bottom now, into water. It like balls up as it's dropping down, and then it leaves like a little goopy solid in the bottom, and that is soft ball stage. The next stage, when you heat it even hotter, that's clearing more like I want it to. Is hard crack stage, I believe it's called, but that's like another temperature for another amount of time. It's funny, my chocolate pecan pie recipe doesn't have anything like temperatures. It has bring to simmer until it doesn't stop bubbling when you stir it, and then yeah, getting mostly a clear bottom. That's what I want. Um, and then time 2 minutes and take it off, and then you continue with the recipe. So that's why I'm a little maybe like over familiar for somebody who doesn't make candy or anything. Well, I make a little bit of candy. I've made candy like chocolate covered peanut butter balls. Um, I don't feel like it's hard enough. Damn it! I think I used just more honey than I did the other day. I'm gonna give it another minute. As long as I'm not getting a hard crack stage, which is gonna happen. Not too worried. Okay, it's starting to want to stay on the silicone even. A little more. So that's why I'm kind of familiar in the smell, taste, touch way with stuff like those candying stages. I think the first time, like when this sauce got invented, I was just going, I want honey garlic, and put honey and garlic together, and it just made sense to saute the garlic first. But I think I just let it get too hot and boiled up like this one time, and it just changed the texture and to this really sticky wing that wanted to, or sticky sauce that stuck to the wing, and that became the way I do it on purpose now. Okay, yeah. It's getting stiff like it's harder to bubble. I'm gonna call that done for sure. Get off the burner. These burners are cast iron to take a while to cool down. Yeah. It's pretty. I'm gonna get a piece of foil to drip some on. That'll be a way to quick cool and test the textures where I want to be sure. Do not shiny side for the camera. Okay. You can see it kind of pooling instead of just running away. I'll put this in the jar for safekeeping. Oh yeah, it immediately cooled on the jar and became a solid. Don't taste it right away. Sugar gets hotter than like water and stuff when it's boiling. So you have to be really careful tasting stuff like this. And if it's not, it looks like it's plenty of garlic. It is a beautiful color now. Just from the garlic did toast in the honey the rest of the way without burning. Funny how that works. Chip underneath. Do I have a small spatula here? I do. Play around with this. Yeah, see it coats, makes like a coating. It does that on your wings. See? Yeah. And taste. You have to love garlic to like this. It might freak some people out. Didn't get any real heat coming through. Maybe I did overboil. It's very candy. but toffee. I mean, I call them toffee wings. Oh, awesome. So there we go. Um, Sauce ready for dropping off after it cools down. I'll put it in a mason jar, and I'll the butter might separate if you make this, and let it cool down before you use it later. And that's what we did the other day. We just tossed hot wings in it. The butter might pull out and separate on top. I think it might not because I reduced it to 3 tablespoons instead of 4 this time. Um, but it doesn't really matter if it does. Just stir it back in and then put your hot wings in it, and your hot wings will um, melt the sauce because it's going to get um, more solid, um, fairly solid, um, like a caramel. Yeah. Um, yeah, it's going to get like a real thick caramel texture. And then the hot wings will mediate that. I'm hoping that, I mean, if they let me in the competition, I'm a little, I've never done a thing like this and where there's a process and you have to drop off a sample. So I'm curious. Like maybe they'll tell me no, you can't be in it with that sauce. Um, which, if they're trying to stay true to hot wings and buffalo sauce, that's acceptable. I had trepidation about entering because of that. Am I betraying my roots? Um, if they bring me my wings for the competition and they're cold, like cooked but not hot, well, for one thing, I'd have a food safety issue. So I'm pretty sure they won't do that. But if they bring them already in a um, catering tray to put on Cerno, I'll have no problem at all just putting my sauce in and tossing it up. Um, I'm going to have to make at least 5 times this much. I know this will cover 10. Um, easily, maybe more, but I want to have, more than less to be safe. Um, so I will go get some local honey to do that as well. Um, and if I have electricity at my setup, I might do a demo and make some too, like a nerd. Eh. Anyway, again, thank you for being here. I hope you understood and enjoyed this tutorial. It's as close as exists to a recipe. Maybe I should write it down because I did take notes the other day, and I'll put it in the Discord. So please join my Discord for that kind of thing. And I should take a picture. Um, don't have to taste this. We've tasted this on stream several times. We know it's delicious. And if you want to, the competition is in a month. I may try, I think. I'll look it up. I'll let you know. Again, join the Discord. Um, and I will, let me think. Let me think. What do I do here? I want a GoPro. I would love to live stream from the competition. I think that's the way to do it if I can tether it to my phone. Um, so yeah, as always, any subscriptions, tips through Ko-fi. I think my throne list might have a camera already in it that multiple people could contribute to. Um, but anything I make from the stream goes toward equipment like that to bring you places. Should I enter more competitions? I don't know. It's a little scary. I won every competition I entered, a recipe competition I entered until a couple years ago. I entered a chili cook-off and I did not win. And I don't expect to win this either, but it'll be fun trying, right? And introducing people to new food, which is one of the reasons I come here. Thanks for dropping in. You can always find my videos on YouTube later on. I do archive there. And thank you to my new YouTube subscribers. They've been popping up. Um, that's excellent. Like since Nerdtacular, I guess a lot of you are premium YouTubers. I'm not. But it is a fantastic place to archive and to be able to go back with a stream like this because Twitch doesn't save the videos forever. And if you want, my recipe or you want to remember how I did something, you can always go there and check. And also 9F12 there. 9F12 everywhere. Go to 9F12.com. It'll lead you to all of my little projects. And let's look and see if there's somebody we want to raid before I take off. Mary's Milk Monster's fun. Little Burger. Co-working though. Yeah, not really any food streamers, and I would kind of like to be pushing, my co-food streamers because it's a less watched thing that we're trying to grow, those of us in the food and drink club. But, oh, Miss Handy's Kitchen, thank you for that. Oh, excellent. Thank you, Miss Handy's Kitchen. Speaking of food streamers, I think my shout out is broken. I'm so sorry. Let me test it. I was trying to fix it the other day, but my bot was being stupid. Oops. But everyone in the chat, please do go. Um, it just gave it just gave Twitch. Yay. Okay, I'm gonna go work with Nightbot and Showbot today and try to fix that. But please, folks, go follow Miss Andy's Kitchen. I appreciate your kind words, and I will absolutely update everyone on the competition when that happens and before then. I should be streaming now more. My bestie is getting discharged from the hospital today, and yeah, I did their laundry. I don't have a whole lot on my plate this coming week, so I'll try to do another one by the end of the week. Until then, I look forward to cooking with you soon.